Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 143, a weekly little get together. We talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is.
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we're going to be talking about some Spider-Man news. Of course, that's the big thing going on right now. The return of Kingdoms of Amalur, which looks pretty good. A couple of board game topics, actually one specifically we get into, and a myriad of other things that we will devolve into throughout the night.
Yeah, sounds good.
If you happen to be watching us here live at Twitch TV/GamePoints, feel free to join in the chat, by the way. I do like to take questions from the crowd, or if you're watching us later at youtube.com/sleeve/GamePointsPC, feel free to comment down below as well. Regardless of where we're watching, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. You guys know the business. You've been on the internet long enough. David.
Yes, sir.
Last week, you were not able to join the show.
Here. I was definitely not here.
Yes, because you were over at PAX. How did that go for you?
Pretty great, actually. PAX is normally a good time as long as you don't have trouble with crowds, because there's 10,000 people in a room, and that can be a little rough, especially if you're trying to play video games, which everyone is. So
Right.
You kind of have to pick your battles and decide really early on what you're trying to play or what you want to see. I did a lot of walking. I think I was averaging like 15,000 steps a day or something ridiculous, according to my phone. And yeah, it was a good time. I drank way too much beer because for me, that's a vacation.
Yeah, it is for a lot of people.
Happened. But I saw a lot of cool stuff. I saw Spider-Man, which we will talk more about later because now other people have seen Spider-Man, so I don't really get to spoil anything there. I really enjoyed playing Soul Calibur 6. That game looks phenomenal.
When's that out, by the way? It's soon, right?
Fairly soon. I actually don't know the exact release date off the top of my head, but I could probably tell you.
I was going to say, you keep talking, I'll look it up.
All right. Well, a couple other things I was looking at while I was there. It's October 19th.
Okay.
On Friday, so the first day of the show, I was walking around and I ended up in the Devolver Digital area, which is, a place you go because there's always...
Their booths are always nice.
And saw a little game called The Messenger.
that game's good. That game's damn good.
I desperately wanted to talk about last week, but I wasn't here because I was still in Seattle. And it is a 2D side-scrolling action platformer that looks like an old-school Ninja Gaiden. It could be a spiritual successor to the NES Ninja Gaiden.
It's a Metroidvania, though, right?
Except it's way the hell better than that. It's not a Metroidvania.
Okay, it's
you
not.
You run to the right. You kill things. You continue to run to the right.
Okay.
And what makes this game awesome, and this is a minor spoiler, but not if you watched any of the damn trailers, 8-bit side-scrolling platformer that... maybe, potentially, possibly, at some point in the game, you travel through time. And when you do that, the whole game, art, audio, everything, changes to 16-bit.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's something you don't really notice unless you're, looking for it in the trailer. But you'll notice it because all of a sudden the audio quality jumps up and the graphics jump up a little bit. And it's just kind of awesome. And there's certain points in the game where you're kind of jumping back and forth between 8-bit and 16-bit, and it's just so damn fun. It's decently difficult because it's, like an old-school Ninja Gaiden style game. And yeah, played it on Friday at the Devolver booth. Literally bought it when I got home to the hotel Friday night and proceeded to spend the entire PAX weekend playing The Messenger on my Switch.
I didn't think The Messenger was a Devolver game. I thought someone else was handing PR for it. Maybe they were...
That's just where I found them.
Okay.
When I was at PAX. They were next to the Devolver booth.
Oh yeah, they published it. Because I know the person running the PR for it. And she's a lovely French woman with big glasses. So when you said... And she has her own PR company. So when you said Devolver, I was thinking something else. But yeah, apparently they did publish it. I just didn't realize that they weren't running PR for it.
It was one of the games that was in the Nintendo Nindies Direct, their little indie thing.
Did you see anything good at the PAX Indie Mega Booth?
There was a lot of stuff.
That place is always slammed. It is.
I honestly don't have my note in front of me because I was writing down so much stuff that was fantastic. One thing I definitely got excited for, though, is the board game Evolution?
Vaguely. Never played it, but I know of it.
There's a board game called Evolution. It's real good. It's about evolving your species. It's kind of like the Super Nintendo game EVO, right?
Yep, Search for Eden.
You can play it with your friends, and you try and eat their creations while you create your own. And it's a damn fun board game, and they actually had a booth in the Indie Mega booth where they have a digital version of that game coming out. So I definitely talk to those guys and may have beta code that I've been playing for the last few days.
Nice.
And it's good. I just like board games, and digital board games make things a lot easier for me. So
yeah, real quick while on the topic of digital board games, there is a digital board game version of Scythe that was just released. If you've been looking for that, by the way, if you're into digital board games, so something to keep an eye out.
Which is funny because they also have a video game version of Scythe, or it's something that's inspired by. I don't remember what it was called. Something else.
I didn't know.
Yep.
I've been playing Spider-Man 4. Or it's not Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4.
Spider-Man PS4. There you go.
Yeah, Spider-Man PS4. And goddamn, is that a just... It's weird, because sometimes that's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen on PlayStation 4. And sometimes it looks really dated every now and then. Yeah. It's got kind of a neurotic look to it every now and then. But for the most part, that game is gorgeous. Highly recommend...
People.
What was that?
Have you seen the boat people?
No, I haven't seen the boat people. I didn't know there were boat people.
I was reading an article. So there's certain areas where there's people on boats in that game, and they're purposely really far from the character, and like you can't really get there. But apparently, if you do a bunch of work and get all the way to them, they are like the ugliest rendered people of all time, like just god awful. But they actually did it on purpose because the old Spider-Man PS2 game had really ugly boat people. So they like made them look worse than the PS2 era boat people.
That is hilarious. that I didn't know that was a thing. That sounds like something they would do, though.
Yeah, there's a ton of Easter eggs in
it. Is an amazing game. And oddly enough, of the 3 major PlayStation 4 releases out this year, though, the worst of the 3.
Really?
I like God of War and Detroit Become Human way better. Now, that said, Spider-Man is still... I mean, it is a testament to how well Sony's exclusives have been so far this year. That game that high on my scale, it's a definite buy for me if you were to ask me for my recommendation. But it still comes behind Detroit and God of War.
Dang.
But Spider-Man is good. And I am not the only one that thinks so, which leads us into our first story from Eurogamer.com here.
Ooh, now we're talking about the news.
Spider-Man 4, the fastest selling game of the year so far.
Still Spider-Man PS4. I don't know how many.
I don't know why I keep saying Spider-Man 4. You know what it is? It's because Spider-Man 3 came out on the PlayStation 2, and that was like the last Spider-Man game I paid attention to.
Well, that's fair.
But anyways,
that's fine. This is the 4th Spider-Man game ever made. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, sounds good. Salty Frank, by the way, thank you for showing up. I see you in chat there. Going from the article. Spider-Man has shifted more copies in his launch week than any other games this year so far. UK numbers shows that ChartTrack reported that... Sorry, let me start over. UK numbers company ChartTrack reported that's the fastest selling individual format release on the PlayStation 4 since Call of Duty World War II last November. That it sold more than fellow PlayStation 4 exclusives God of War, Detroit, and Yakuza 6, and more than any other exclusive on this platform. The game is selling very, very well for Sony. Now, keep in mind, who knows what the tail for this game is going to be like. They're just aggregating the numbers for this one launch week compared to other games launch weeks. Coco for Tacos also, welcome to the chat. Appreciate having you here.
So one thing that I saw that's pretty interesting based on this is that Spider-Man is actually the, I think, you can double check me, #1 selling Marvel comic game of all time. Like,
yes.
Period. But it is not the #1 selling comic game because that still belongs to Batman, I think, Arkham Knight.
Or it's one of the Arkham games, but yeah.
One of the Arkham games for sure.
Didn't New Game Plus for Spider-Man just get announced? You know, Coco, I have no idea if that's the case or not, but if someone wants to do the research, I'll be sure to report it in the show before we end. One thing I love about Spider-Man, speaking of Arkham, the Arkham games, is that the combat is unique and not a clone of the Arkham games. I don't have any problem with that Arkham-style combat, but goddamn, did I kind of get tired of seeing it in every single game that came out since then. And I'm glad that this is a lot more fluid and aerobatic. Now, control-wise, I had a real big problem with Spider-Man when I first started playing. It's not the most intuitive of controls, but once you get it down, traversal feels so goddamn good in that game.
Yeah, that looks great. This is the beginning of where I'm already broke, and all the games are going to come out, and I will tell you guys about how much I like them sometime in March when I get my taxes back.
Yeah, totally understandable. This is one of the games I actually paid for, though. It is damn good. I really like it. And
But yeah,
I fully
regarding
recommend it.
the new game plus, it actually was confirmed, but not in any official source. Greg Miller, being Greg Miller, responded to a fan on Twitter in a completely unrelated topic and said, "Yeah, new game plus is being worked on."
I like that guy, by the way.
Yeah,
Got a
classy dude.
got a weird weird friendship with Greg Miller.
All right.
It's he's a good guy. It's his wife, by the way, that works on the Messenger.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, his
Okay,
wife
that's
runs
awesome.
PR for the Messenger. That's why I said I know who it is.
Well, see, if you don't have that Spider-Man money, you can pick up the Messenger because that game's only $20, and if you have any other Devolver games, it's cheaper. Just saying.
I didn't know that either. That goddamn, so many good games lately.
I put 11 hours in that game just during the PAX weekend.
Coco, yeah, keep your head down for the hurricane, man. I know that sometimes games are fun and that we really want to play them all, but yeah, just save your money until after the hurricane's over because you don't know what's going to screw up your house or your car or anything like that. But just stay safe.
Put important stuff in the dishwasher.
That sounds dumb, but I think you're right because it's secure.
It's already waterproof and it's bolted into cabinets. It's like one of the things that tends to stay around.
Hilarious. I didn't know that. I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. Dave, why don't you go ahead and lead us off here?
Okay, let's talk about this. Now, I am always excited when we have this exact news story, and you always try and temper my expectations, but I don't care because THQNordic bought another property that I'm excited about, and maybe we get something from it. Maybe, just let me believe. In a tweet, THQNordic says, "We are beyond proud to announce that THQNordic has acquired the Kingdoms of Amalur IP, among other assets from 38 Studios. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, if you don't recall, was a fantastic, in my opinion, open-world RPG that came out in the PS3, Xbox 360 era. I remember this being the game that actually killed my PS3 finally. This is what gave me the yellow light of death. That's what made my fat PS3 overheat." And yeah, it had some cool stuff. Todd McFarlane did a lot of the art for that game. R.A. Salvatore penned the story for it. And I don't know, the people that worked on this game made me excited. I was so excited when it came out. And put a ton of time in it. THQ just picked up the rights. That means we might get something. We know that they were working on an MMO before this was canned. There was talks of them starting to work on a sequel. But of course, EA shut them down because that's what EA loves to do. The big thing from this story, though, however, is that EA still has the publishing rights to Reckoning, the original game, so we can't expect any kind of remaster or remake or re-release of the first game until that gets resolved. So they'd have to either talk to EA or buy that something. That doesn't mean they can't start working on a sequel.
Correct. So for those of you who were looking for a remaster or remake of some kind, like David said, the rights are currently tied up with EA, so unless that gets hammered out, don't expect too much from that front. However, also like what David was mentioning, there was a project called Project Copernicus, which was the MMO for Kingdoms of Amalur. Because R.A. Salvatore, who is a big fantasy writer, thanks 1000K, thank you for mentioning his name, he created like 1,000 years of history for this world. And the whole Kingdoms of Amalur idea was originally going to be an MMO. Reckoning came out because they needed more money for the MMO and just released that, and it's like 1,000 years before the MMO was taking place. And then, of course, Reckoning didn't do too well. 38 Studios had some weird loan with, I believe, the state of Rhode Island. It was a big to-do when they closed because the state of Rhode Island then absorbed the property, the IP from 38 Studios, so a state had control, like an actual state in the United States had control of this video game. That was... It's the first time I can think that's ever happened, and it's been recently sold. What I want to mention, what David keeps talking about, I keep killing his expectations on this, is THQNordic has bought a lot of IPs. They've bought a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they've done...
about Titan Quest.
Yeah.
Which did get a remaster and did get an expansion. But a whole bunch of the other stuff they picked up they haven't touched. They haven't done anything with.
Yeah. So that's where I say temper your expectations, because THQNordic buys a lot and does very little with most of it.
But maybe they're working on stuff. Maybe they got something going on.
Maybe they are. They could be getting something going on. Or we could be getting another Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is getting remastered, apparently coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch in 2019. That's really all I have to say about that.
Crystal Chronicles is a game that came out on the GameCube, and you could play with your friends if you used a Game Boy Advance for a controller. It was a game that was built to make money. Because in order to play multiplayer, everyone needed to have a Game Boy Advance. It was completely fucking ridiculous. The game was interesting. It had some stuff that happened that was like neat, but honestly, I don't remember loving this game. I don't remember having that much fun.
Yeah, so at first I was excited for it, and then I started remembering how someone always had to be like the poor son of a bitch that had to carry the goblet around, and it finally came to the point to where I felt like I had to mention it on the show, but I didn't even care enough to set its own bit up. I just snuck it at the end of the Kingdoms of Amalur thing, because I just don't care about this game. Cool idea. I'm sure the idea might be really cool on Switch.
Yeah, maybe you get a Switch to Game Boy DS adapter, right? So you could bring a bunch of DSs over, and then you hook them into your Switch for some damn reason.
No, it's not going to be like that. They're going to handle it all wirelessly.
So you need 5 switches, right? 4 switches for the players, and 1 more switch that's docked, so you guys can play on the TV. Or you can just play it on PS4, where it'll probably be a normal fucking video game. Anyway,
yeah, this was supposed to be a bigger story, but like I said, all the excitement for it gets sucked out the more I start thinking about how bad that game actually was. So I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's a thing that happens. I'm sure there's people that are excited about it, and I won't take anything away from you. If you're crazy hyped for Crystal Chronicles, you do you.
So the only reason why that story even gets brought up now is as a segue to this Nintendo Direct that was supposed to happen last week. Now, Nintendo loves to announce their stuff at the last second, and on Tuesdays they said, hey, the Nintendo Direct coming, or it was like Monday after the show, or maybe right before the show. And then
I think we knew the time. It was in our to watch thing.
Yeah, it was early that week. And then a big earthquake hit Japan. A lot of damage done. It hit the northern part of Japan, and they delayed it out of sensitivity to what happened. But since it was so sudden, we had a bunch of things kind of leak out that's going to get talked about in the Direct. Because you program things to go time to time when the Direct announces, marketing's already been sent and shipped up. So we have a few ideas of what the upcoming Direct will be when they finally show it. We're going to go over the couple of them real quick. 1, Civilization 6 is coming to the Switch.
That one we know about. We got plenty of information. That's a lot of that's been taken down. Like you can't. I don't think the news is up anymore.
The link that I had posted to it, though, announcing the Civ 6 for Nintendo Switch was from Civilization.com.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a rumor. This is coming.
Which is awesome. Civ 6 on the go sounds amazing. Civ
and
6
coming
is one of the games. Actually, just any Civilization is what I normally have on a laptop when I'm going somewhere because that's something you can always play.
Almost always, yeah. And coming soon, by the way. If the date was to be believed, it's coming November 16th.
See, that's great.
So expect Nintendo's Switch version of Civilization 6 to be announced. I'm very curious to see how that game would run on the Switch. It is a touchpad.
Yeah.
But are they going to do something like
touchscreen controls?
Are they going to do something like Civ Revolution with it, and they're just calling it Civ 6, or is it actually Civ 6?
It'll probably be the whole game, and it gets really rough right around turn 100.
It just starts breaking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how that works. Apparently, 4 players can play cooperative or wireless local multiplayer, which is also kind of cool. Yep. I just don't see how the Switch can handle that game. I know you said that that's the game you always take with you because anything can run it, but like you also mentioned, once you get turn 100 and everyone has like a couple hundred units running across the board and 50 workers building everything, that game starts to chug even on my system.
Yep.
So,
something else we learned about is that Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition is going to be hitting the Switch as well. That one we don't have the date for. I think it's already on
2019
PS4 and Xbox. Pretty sure it's on phones. That's the whole damn point of Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. So,
yeah, it came out earlier this year on phones. It was released today, I believe, on PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
If you think it looks good, that's all you.
It is a chibi version of Final Fantasy 15 story.
Yeah, I've heard it's like really approachable, and it's a nice game for people that don't play Final Fantasy games to get into, like something to try and bring you into the series. I don't know how much like depth and complexity it has for like hardcore fans, but I don't know.
It feels a little bit cash grabby to me because Final Fantasy 15 was in development for so long. You know they have to milk every single dollar they can out of that.
Yep. Is that game even done?
I don't know if they're done releasing content for it or not. With all apologies to Tim Kitties of Kind of Funny Again, he summed up Final Fantasy 15 best by saying it is a game that it went from being a game that would never come out to a game that won't stop coming out.
Yeah.
Because their content drops are actually story important. Salty Freak says, I don't think the mobile version has Stand By Me, so it's not worth playing. That's right. Now, was Stand By Me actually in the Final Fantasy 15 itself, or was it just during the ad campaign? But it was Florence and the Machine doing a cover of it. I think it's in the game, now that I think about it. I definitely think it's in the game. It's been so long since I played it, and I only played it for a few hours and stopped. But good point there. If it doesn't have Stand By Me, it's not worth buying. Finally, the last thing that we've seen leak from this Direct, because, once again, it got delayed, but plans are already in motion, is we now have the title of the upcoming Yoshi game. This is from Nintendo Wire. Let me bring it up here. Yoshi's Crafted World title accidentally leaked early. If you go to Nintendo's webpage, they had this up here. And Yoshi's Crafted World, as you can see right down there, right above my head currently. That is apparently going to be the name of the follow-up to Yoshi's Woolly World, which was a 3DS game or a DS game, one or the other. Maybe even a Wii U game. I don't even remember anymore. It was fun, though. I remember really getting a kick out of the Yarn Yoshi games. Looking forward to that one. Any opinions on that, David?
I like the Yoshi's... I don't know what you want to call those. The side-scrolling, woolly, yarny Yoshi games. That's cool.
The platformers? They're not really... Yeah, they're platformers, sure.
Yeah, but I'm just mean like those Yoshi aesthetic games, the plush Yoshi games.
Yeah.
The yarn Yoshi games, the whatever the hell's going on with Yoshi games, you know what I'm talking about.
You can't call them yarny because that's unraveled.
Oh well.
I like the look to them. I really like the look to those yarn Yoshis.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they look cool. I will probably look at it because at some point I'm going to need something else on my Switch, even though right now there's so many great side-scrolling Metroidvanias that I don't know when I'll have time to play other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Between Metroidvania, there have been a goldmine of Metroidvanias. You had Chasm, you had Dead Cells, which is an amazing game. Guacamelee 2.
On Switch, but
is Chasm on Switch?
I don't think so. But Hollow Knight is.
Hollow Knight's another one. Dead Cells, though, like I was mentioning, it's an amazing one. Guacamelee 2. I think I literally just said all these. I blanked out what I was doing. Phoenix Under K also says in chat, real quick news blurb, Samurai Spirits, which is a new Samurai Showdown, has been announced for 2019.
Yeah, for PS4.
Not my game, but...
It is a great time to be a fighting game fan because there are so many flipping games coming out constantly. And there's actually variety in the fighting game community right now. It's not everybody playing one game. Mostly because we're not Capcom dominated.
Yeah, Capcom fighting games have kind of stumbled and fallen, which sucks because Capcom as a whole seems to be on a rise. With Resident Evil 7, with the upcoming Devil May Cry 5, with the Resident Evil 2 remake. They seem to be getting a lot of the goodwill. I like to think of them as the anti-Konami right now, but specifically their fighting games, however, have just been taking a beating.
We talked about how I just don't like Street Fighter 5. Really.
Yeah, not many people seem to.
So I'll play like literally any other fighting game over that one.
Not many people seem to be in Street Fighter 5, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite didn't do well for them either.
That's because Dragon Ball FighterZ Z came out and basically just replaced it in every way. It's the 3v3 game that everybody actually wanted to play.
Yeah, so it's a shame to see Capcom succeeding everywhere, but what you could arguably say they were best known for.
But jumping back to Samurai Showdown really quick, the most recent Samurai Showdown game actually came out in like the 360 era, so it's been a minute.
Damn, that has been a while.
Yeah.
So it's that time where we're getting to the end of the console cycle, so everything old is new again. We're seeing a lot of the remakes and the remasters like we see when a console is about to die. Dive Kick was amazing, by the way, Salty Frank. That
yes,
actually
Salty
was
Frank, you are absolutely correct. Dive Kick, too good.
A surprisingly complex game for being, what, 2 buttons?
Yeah,
dive and kick.
You can dive, and you can kick.
All right, let's move on to some more sadder news, unfortunately. This is going to be via Kotaku and good old Jason Schreier there, by his book. Wildstar developer Carbine Studios shuts down. And no, I haven't read his book yet.
I have.
Wildstar, for those of you guys don't know, was an MMO that had a very interesting art style. It was a solid MMO, by the way, too. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. and it had its fan base, and it looks like they're going bye-bye from the article itself. Carbine Studios, the developer of the massive multiplayer online game Wildstar, is shutting down, Kotaku has learned. 50 people will lose their jobs in the process, according to a person briefed on the shutdown, and the game will also come to a close. So not only is the studio completely laid off, but the game is done. They're closing the servers down for the game. Anyone who's still actively playing it, get your time in, because they're shutting it down. Back to the article. Staff were informed of the closure on a meeting Thursday, according to someone who was in the room, but it had been looming for a while after at least 2 of the studio's game projects failed to gain traction with the studio's parent company, Korean publisher NCSoft. NCSoft, by the way, does a lot of MMOs. That's like their business model. Quote from the statement. Today we are closing Carbine Studios and begin the process of winding down Wildstar to ultimately shutter the game. Wildstar players who have spent money within the game will be refunded purchases from July 1st, 2018 until the payment system is shut off. We are also in the process of identifying the teams that will be doing the work to bring Wildstar to the close. These decisions are very difficult to make, and we are in the midst of shifting as many of our teammates as possible onto other roles within the organization, end quote. So, 1, always sucks when a studio closes down. 2, awesome on NCSoft for refunding purchases from July 1st. They don't have to do that. They did. That's cool. It also seems to be like they're trying to find positions to stick other people in. Best of luck to the 50 people who are losing their job, unfortunately. No word on if they're actually getting fired or just transitioning to another team. It says they're losing their jobs, but it sounds like NCSoft also might be trying to place them. We'll see how that goes. Dr. Hugo, thanks for joining the chat, by the way. Always appreciate having you here. Did you ever get a chance?
NCSoft is like a rough place to work, or a rough company to work for, because I feel like if you're not making a game that's very Korean, you're not going to last. They're just going to turn your game off.
Yeah, I don't know what NCSoft does besides Wildstar Top Man. I know they do a bunch of MMOs. I think they do like Lineage 2. They might do Rift. I need to look this up now real quick. But did you ever get a chance to play Wildstar?
How about Guild Wars 2?
No, that's ArenaNet.
Oh. Didn't they publish?
They might. I have to look this up now. Hold on.
I know they were in charge of City of Heroes, and that got shut down.
Here we go. Lineage, City of Heroes, Wildstar, Guild Wars. Oh, Guild Wars is the first Guild Wars. Aeon, Blade and Soul, Mastercross, Master. But not Guild Wars 2, I don't think. Vindictus, oh, no, they're the publisher of Guild Wars 2 as well. I'd take that back. So, yeah, that is also part of their umbrella, too. Vindictus, I don't know what Vindictus is as far as games go, unfortunately. I think I've heard the name thrown around before. They're Phoenix 100K, but it's not clicking any bells. The point is, they're a big Korean MMO publisher, so a lot of those games tend to follow that model. And Wildstar was definitely different from that model.
I mean, like, if you go to NCSoft's page, you can pick from a bunch of different MMOs that all want all of your time. So, I mean, the people that are going there are probably already looking at something else. I don't know.
Yeah, there's only so much. That's a big thing with that development model, especially if they're free to play, is if it's free to play, the thing they're charging is your time.
Yeah, and if it's free to, like, if you're not paying to play it, you don't have a whole lot of agency to actually play it, so you might pop in for a little bit and then leave and then honestly forget about it, because there's so many games at this point that it's impossible to play everything. And it's impossible to even give everything a fair shake.
I would argue NCSoft has way too many MMOs. They're eating into each other, but most of their stuff's geared for a Korean audience. I'm speaking from an American point of view. So for all we know, they could all be doing good. Salty Frank, he says he didn't like Wildstar at all myself. I never got a chance to play it. I liked the idea behind it. I know that it kind of became the joke on the internet there for a little bit because of the belief that it was made for the furry community because they had like the rabbit girls and shit in there.
To be brutally honest, when I saw that this was one of our news articles, I was really confused on why someone made a Worldstar MMO.
Did you just forget that Wildstar actually existed?
Yes, completely and utterly.
So, I mean, with all due respect to Carbine Studios, I honestly thought Wildstar closed like 2 years ago. I didn't know it was still running. But yeah, it does suck to be any studio that closes down. Best of luck to those 50 people. I hope they get new positions at NCSoft.
Yeah.
or picked up by
If they
someone
all
else.
have MMO experience, they got plenty of other games they could
Yeah.
potentially work on. It just depends on if they have room in the teams or what happens. But
Let's go ahead and move on to the next story, and then you will take the one after that because that's more up your alley. This one is via Variety.
because I can't talk about Netflix.
Well, you can, but I figured you'd probably be better off leading the
you're
next one.
You're good. You're good.
This one is via Variety. Henry Cavill, you know, Superman, set to star in the Witcher series at Netflix. Okay.
He wanted Geralt, and he got Geralt.
This is from the article itself. Henry Cavill would play the lead role in the upcoming Netflix based on The Witcher, Variety has learned. Based on the best-selling fantasy series The Witcher, follows Geralt of Rivia, a solitary monster hunter, as he struggles to find peace in a world where people often prove more wicked than beasts. But when destiny hurls him toward a powerful sorceress and a young princess with a dangerous secret, the three must learn to navigate the increasingly volatile continent together. End quote. By the way, this is a Netflix show, and if it's going to stay true to The Witcher, expect to see just nudity everywhere.
Yeah, they could potentially turn this into their own Game of Thrones.
What do you think? How do you feel about The Witcher TV series? As I forgot what the name of it was real quick.
About The Witcher?
Yeah.
As a thing, I'm interested. I know that it's going to be far more focused on the books, so a whole bunch of people are going to be mad at it all the time because it's not going to be exactly like playing the video games. But I don't care. That means they have source material that they can work from. There's a whole bunch of books that they can look at, and they can do some interesting stuff that people maybe don't know. One thing is I'm sure no matter who they cast for any of the roles, half the internet's going to get mad. As far as Henry Cavill, I don't have a problem with him. I'm not stoked. Again, this is one of those times when I said, why didn't they just cast Stephen Lang? Because I think Stephen Lang should be every fucking older guy in every fucking show. But maybe he didn't want to do a whole bunch of nudity, so we get Henry Cavill instead.
I think I'm fine with Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, but a lot of that comes from the fact that I just can't bring myself to care about this series. I was kind of excited for it at first, but this particular show has kind of become a political culture war football, and both sides are fucking stupid. And I just want to distance myself from it. The politicking from both the staff and the jackasses on the internet, or like fighting each other over what the show should be, has ruined any interest I have in this show. And I'm just done with it. I have better things to put my time into, which is a shame because I like The Witcher. I love The Witcher games a lot. The books are cool, but I just cannot. Any enthusiasm I had for the show has been killed because of that bullshit.
I'm excited to see where it goes. Who knows?
Fair enough. Let us know what you think down, of course, in the comments below if you're excited for The Witcher or not, if you think Henry Cavill's a good choice for the role. I think I'm fine. Like I said, I think I'm fine with him as Geralt, but I just can't think of anyone I want better in that role. I think Stephen Lang might be a little too older, but I just can't picture anyone else I want in that role right now.
Well, because I'm pretty sure Stephen Lang could kind of work for what you think of like Witcher 3, like gray hair.
Yeah.
But this is taking place way early.
Yeah, this is going to be an origin story if he's just now meeting Ciri and Yennefer. This is going to be based off of The Last Wish. It sounds like, anyways, but we'll see how it works. Although The Witcher always had white hair, by the way.
Well,
it's a product of his mutations.
We'll see what happens.
All right.
Anyway, it's going to be on Netflix. I'm already paying for Netflix. I'll probably binge it on a weekend and let you know what I think.
I mean, I'd pick up Netflix just for the Castlevania anime that's going to come out for season 2 next month.
So excited. I actually just rewatched season 1 of that.
It's a good show. All right, David, let's go ahead and wind up with the last story here. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
All right. Now, if you're going to ask Steven, this next article is from Kickstarter. That's where we're getting it from. But actually where it's from is my fucking email, because Steamforge Games loves to tell me about all these new projects they're working on and not when my fucking Wave 2 Dark Souls board game is actually showing up. So we're going to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game, which has already completely crushed its $200,000 goal. It's currently sitting just shy of $1 million. It's still got 17 days to go. And yeah, look at that. We got another board game based on a video game because Steamforge has figured out what their niche is. The Dark Souls game came out over a year ago. Still waiting for some content from that one. But it's a good game. I do enjoy it. And we have the Resident Evil 2 board game, something else they announced that I haven't seen any of. So maybe we'll get that eventually. But in the meantime, give them more money so they can make yet another game with really, really pretty minis. And maybe you'll see it in about 2 years.
Didn't these guys also do like the Bloodborne board game as well? Were they involved in that?
The card game, Dark Souls, the card game.
Dark Souls, the card game, or Bloodborne, the card game?
Dark Souls, the card game.
Okay.
Yes. I think Bloodborne is technically separate, but they did the Dark Souls card game and board game, and they're working on Resident Evil 2, which is apparently playable to people that aren't me.
So,
but all
your issues with the company aside, what do you think?
This does look real damn good. The problem is that I'm still excited for it because I like what Steamforge has. I really like the way their minis look, and I think if they were all painted, they would look fan-flippin-tastic. But there's a ton of stuff here. There's expansions. There's probably going to be a cool combat system in the game. It's probably going to be
from the Kickstarter article itself. A semi-cooperative tactical action game for 1 to 4 players designed in a rich, unique Horizon Zero Dawn universe. Assign dangerous quarry for the Hunter's Lodge and get to choose a tribe and class and embark on an adventure through the wilds. A variety of mechanics and unexplained events lurk along the way, waiting for the trials boss fight. If you keep reading through that article, it sounds like it's going to be a strategy deck building game. So if you guys know what a deck builder is on that with a map.
Okay.
That seems to be the gist I'm getting from that. When you were talking about its mechanics, that seems to be what they're going for. So you start off with, say, 20 cards, and as you kill things, you get to add more cards or rip bad cards out of your deck and just expand on that from there. It does not seem to capture the plot to Horizon at all, but it definitely seems to capture the theme, where you're hunting robotic dinosaurs. I don't know if I'm big into it, but what do you think? Are you into it? Do you like this idea?
It's, like I said, it's interesting, but I think you're right in that this is a very narrative-driven, single-player, campaign-based game, and this board game I don't feel will actually capture Horizon Zero Dawn. The nice thing about picking Dark Souls is that it's just a game about overcoming adversity. Yes, it has a story, but it's very hidden, I guess is the best way to put it. It's not right in front of you. Resident Evil 2 also has a story, but by and large, you can just make a game about killing zombies and kind of get the gist as long as you have some puzzles in there. This being a completely open-world narrative game, it's just going to be a game about killing robot dinosaurs. Which,
yeah, if you take
don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about, but this is, you could just take Horizon right out of it, and it wouldn't change the core gameplay at all.
Yeah, it feels like this is a different game with a Horizon skin slapped on it.
Yeah, this just seems to be a way to sell this game for way more copies of this game than they would have if they called it something else.
Let's see. Salty Frank mentions, oh yeah, they are making a Fortnite Monopoly there, Salty Frank. Looks like David already addressed you in chat there, so that's fine.
He was asking if they were going to make a Fortnite board game, but it's just Jenga. Just with Fortnite on all the little Jenga pieces.
Man, you can't escape that game. That game is goddamn everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of wraps things up for news of the week. Let's go ahead and move on to things to watch out for. There's really only one thing to keep an eye out for this week, and that's that Nintendo Direct that was canceled last week. The rumor is it's going to be happening on the 13th, which is Thursday. But keep in mind, this is a heavy rumor that a couple data miners claim to have knowledge of. Not confirmed, though I wouldn't be surprised because they have to get this Direct out soon. Because the marketing is already in place for it. You're already starting to see leaks for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 13th was the actual date of the next Nintendo Direct. But who knows? I mean, the Nintendo Direct to be sometime next year for all we care. For all we know. Not all we care. For all we know. But likely this week. And speaking of stuff coming out this week, David.
Oh, we're going to talk about new games?
We are. What is coming out this week, David, as we stumble our way through this show? Because it's been 2 weeks since we actually been on the show together, and the chemistry just feels off. I don't know what's going on.
I feel great. Well, actually, I'm still coming back from a cold, so I don't feel great at all. But I'm doing my best. I'm hyped up on Dayquil, man. Welcome to GamePoints.
I as an aside, I think it's because we have a lot of people chatting in chat right now, so I'm also trying to read while talk, and if you've ever tried to read while talk at the same time, it doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, it turns out it's hard to read while talk. This guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, games that are coming out this week. How about a game for Xbox One and PC called Adios Amigos? And this game looks weird as hell.
All right, I got to pause you real quick.
Yes.
Dr. Hugo, Don't be sorry, man. You've been quiet the entire time. You're like Knives Chow, who's being yelled at for speaking up, and she's like, I'm sorry, I'll be quiet. But she hasn't said anything, man. You're fine. Don't feel bad for being a chat, man. I'm just saying, it's a little bit distracting me trying to read 2 things at once. Don't feel bad, chat. You're all right. You're cool. In fact, I want you guys talking more. I have to learn to be better.
Now, what I don't want talking more is Steven. So, as I was saying, Adios Amigos is a video game, and you can play it this week. It looks weird as hell. It is a space-based game with some serious astrophysics for 1 to 4 players. It looks kind of like a comic book. It jumps between a kind of weird side-scrolling game while you're on a planet into a top-down floating around in space, finding space stations, attaching your ship to it, turning your engine on, crashing into an asteroid, and then landing on some weird planet so you can try and rebuild your ship and rinse, repeat. I don't know what to think about this game. Take a look at a trailer if you get a chance. It just looks weird and absurd and probably fun if you have 4 people running around. Something I'm way more excited for coming out this week is Bastion is hitting Switch. Bastion is fan-flippin-tastic. If you've never played this game and you have a Switch, just buy it, sight unseen. It's great, I promise you. It is a isometric sort of view for an action platformer. Well, less platforming, not a whole lot of jumping. But you're in a world that has been shattered to pieces. It has a fantastic narrator, a great soundtrack, really cool world, and a bunch of fun weapons. Damn man, I just love Bastion.
Man, everything that's super giant. I think that's the name of that company. Everything they've done.
Supergiant did Transistor, they did Bastion, and they did
Pyre.
I
know, I did the review for Pyre. All of them are great. Pyre is probably the weakest of the 3, but all of them have goddamn amazing voice acting, amazing art direction, amazing soundtracks. Transistor soundtrack in particular is just beautiful.
Yeah,
take a look at it.
Bastion is honestly one of my favorite games. I flippin' loved that game. I devoured it. It's probably one of the things that I have a high completionist level of.
Quick playthroughs too. You can finish them in like 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah, you can definitely rush through that game, but there's still some stuff to do that makes it fun. Also coming out this week, like any of it matters, Boundless is hitting PS4. This is a voxel sandbox MMO that's been on Steam for a while. It's mostly positive in reviews. It's Minecraft with weird dinosaur-looking people add a bunch of combat. I feel bad calling every voxel sandbox game Minecraft, but we figured this out. Games that look like Minecraft and sound like Minecraft are pretty damn Minecrafty, so there you go. Get on your Boundless. We also have, coming out this week, Claws of Fury, or Furry, for PS4. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up game with 4 ninja cats. There's a ton of skins. You can have a cat that looks like Wolverine, and a cat that looks like Batman, and a cat that's just purple. And there you go. It very much looks like an old-school side-scrolling beat 'em up, but with ninja cats. That's the best I can give you. We have Construction Simulator 2, Console Edition. I don't care.
So here's the thing about Console Simulator 2. And by the way, Vince Nitro, welcome to chat. Thanks for joining by. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for joining us. I can't fucking talk tonight. I'm just fried. I am so goddamn fried. So Construction Simulator 2 falls into that same category of games that we have no idea how they get an audience, but goddamn it, they have an audience. And this is things like
tons of people are going to stream this game and probably drunk, and people are going to watch it because you're going to build buildings with licensed Caterpillar
it's things
tractors.
Like Farm Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. In fact, there's a guy who streams Euro Truck Simulator here on Twitch every now and then. His name's Simcopter1. I actually host him when I can. And goddamn, it's one of those games that I don't want to watch, but I will have on in the background and throw to the side on my second monitor and just listen. Because it's something that you can play and interact with the chat really well, and you're just talking to people as you're driving. And I don't see the appeal to it myself, but I get why people like watching it being streamed, because it's a way to still play something, but it's so low key you can interact with the chat a lot.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Games that end in simulator are just there to relax. You don't have to concentrate super hard. You can kind of just dick about. And I really like Salty Frank's comment that he loves Euro jank simulators.
Oh, and they are all janky as hell too, aren't they?
That sums it up pretty damn.
I mean, Dr. Hugo Farm Simulator's life. These games have. Are we out of touch, or is it for children?
No, it's the children who are wrong.
Because it seems like a lot of people watching us right now really like these sim games, and I just don't get it.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure this is a port of a pocket edition of Construction Simulator. Like, this is from a mobile game into your damn consoles somehow. Welcome to the 2018s.
Wow. Okay.
Also coming out this week, we have Fossil Hunters on PS4 and Xbox One. This has been on Steam for a little bit. It's mostly positive. It's an action-adventure game about digging for fossils and building dinosaurs, and I didn't really love looking at it, but you can be your own judge. We also have NBA 2K19 for PS4, Xbox One, Switch. It's like 2K18, but newer. The new features include you Googling them. Nefarious.
Okay, first, that before you go on. First of all, amazing. Glad you said that. Second, let's not forget that NBA 2K19 is currently undergoing some bullshit right now because Belgium banned loot boxes for this game, and 2K Games fucking put out a blog post more or less begging gamers to fight against government and have loot boxes in your games. And I did a quick video, which you can take a look on YouTube. I mean, it's just reading that and verbatim and me going off on a tangent. But fuck off, 2K Games. Fight your own goddamn fights. Don't ask for gamers to fight the government so you can take more fucking money from them on their loot boxes. Kiss my ass. You go out, you get lawyers, and you fucking fight it yourself. God damn, was that such an infuriating blog post they put up. It's such... the gall. The gall of 2K Games to put out a blog post begging gamers to fight against the government so that they could take more of gamers' monies. Fuck off. Yeah, exactly, Vince Nitro. It's a grassroots campaign to line their own pockets. It's fuck
2K, fuck loot boxes, and fuck microtransactions.
And more on loot box news, by the way. I wasn't going to bring it up, but while we're talking about it, apparently EA is actively suing the Belgian government now. Like, the other games are just like, okay, we'll take it out, but EA is actively selling the boot.
Hilarious.
Yeah, they're suing them.
EA doesn't know how to make any money because they ain't making that Fortnite money.
Here's the thing,
EA's stocks are actually having issues, and a lot of the investor groups are like warning to stay away because this season is not looking any better for them. Because not a whole lot of people are excited for the new Battlefield game, and it doesn't really matter when it launches. It's going to launch at a bad time because it's coming out this fucking year, and this holiday season is insane.
And keep in mind, EA themselves straight up said when it comes to Battlefront 2, when they had to take out the loot boxes and star cards, they themselves, Patrick Sutherland, I think, is the guy who said, I need to go find the quote, but he essentially said, oh, the microtransactions don't actually impact the bottom line of the game all that much. So what fucking is it, EA? Is it either microtransactions make you a shit ton of money, and that's why you cram them in there, or they don't mean much at all, and there's no reason to have them in there?
Basically, they can't decide if they're trying to make a Grand Theft Auto or if they're trying to make Fortnite. They don't know. They're doing their best, and their best is real bad.
God damn it.
Some
it's
could
so
even say the EA is being nefarious.
Yeah.
Which is the next game that's coming out this week that I need to talk about because this guy doesn't like to talk about new games. PS4, Xbox One, Switch. It's been on Steam for a while. It is very positive. A game where you play as the villain, an action platformer where you globe hop between several kingdoms, kidnapping princesses, and they all alter gameplay. And then you fight heroes in reverse boss fights. So it's actually got recreated like iconic boss fights where you're playing as the bad guy. And spoiler alert, you win.
So, wait a minute. When you say they recreated iconic boss fights, they're like spoofing...
I don't have any examples.
Okay.
I'm just going from their blurb. It does look kind of interesting, though.
All right.
Also coming out this week, we have NHL 19 for PS4 and Xbox One. I'm going to make the same joke again. It's like 18, but 19. The Nintendo Labo vehicle kit comes out this week for Switch. This actually does look pretty cool. This is the one where you can get yourself a car made out of cardboard and throw not a Joy-Con in it, whatever the hell the controllers are called. And
yeah, they're Joy-Cons.
Drive around.
Are they Joy-Cons? Yeah, I think they're called Joy-Cons. I just call them Switch controllers. So,
but there's so many. But the cool thing here that I'm excited about is at some point they're actually going to add Mario Kart functionality. So, because you can make a steering wheel and like a pedal with the vehicle kit, so you could actually use your little wheel and pedal out of cardboard that you made to drive around in Mario Kart, and that seems
That
very
actually is kind of
entertaining
cool.
to me.
I'm super curious to know how Labo is doing for Nintendo.
Um,
I don't know if it's successful for them or not. I don't know if they're breaking even or if it's the biggest thing ever for them. I just
I'm
don't
pretty
hear
sure it
any
costs
financial
them
news on it.
almost no money.
Probably.
They're releasing like small, simple games. They're letting people do their own thing, and the rest of it is them just printing labels on fucking cardboard.
I'm going to see if I can find anything about Labo sales while you keep going on here.
All right, take a look. We also have Recore Definitive Edition hitting PC this week from creator Keiji Inafune. You know that guy?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
Mega
know how
Man.
to say his name very well because I'm not good at saying names. And the makers of Metroid Prime comes Recore the Definitive Edition. It's an action adventure crafted for a new generation. Basically, this game reminds me a lot of Ratchet and Clank, except for you take over all the robots, as opposed to just fighting them all to death.
As
and
of
it's a game
August,
I completely forgot about.
as of August 2018, 1.39 million units of Labo have been sold worldwide. So it's not setting the world on fire, but it's selling over 1 million. That's a solid number.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, Recore Definitive Edition coming out this week. Take a look.
You want to talk about a developer whose name has kind of fallen with the past few years, and that's Kenji Inafune.
Yeah.
Because between WeCore, which wasn't bad, but kind of wasn't good either, and then Mighty Number 9, I have to wonder if Iga, working on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, is looking at what Inafune is currently going through and is worried. Because he is going to get compared to him, because they're both kickstarted what their game is known for. Kenji Inafune kickstarted Mighty Number 9. He's known for Mega Man. Iga kickstarted Bloodstain. He's known for Castlevania. So I wonder if he's looking at how poorly Mighty Number 9 was received and is worried himself.
Oh, and keep in mind that they're gonna make a new Mega Man game complete without him, and Mega Man 11 looks and plays, mind you, a hell of a lot better than Mighty Number 9 does.
Yeah. So it's just shame to see such a what was once a revered creator kind of get knocked down. It sucks. I hate seeing that.
Yep. Well, only time will tell. Maybe that Red Ash game or whatever he's working on comes out and it's completely amazing.
I completely forgot he was doing that. What else we got?
Oh, there's another bigger game coming out this week, Shadow of the Tomb Raider for PS4 and Xbox One and PC. Remember that game when we were like, hey, they're going to make a new Tomb Raider. It's called Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And they're like, no, we're not. And then
yeah, I believe this was
no, we're
leaked.
pretty sure it's called Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I believe this was leaked on a subway. I think someone saw a guy working on
a laptop
on a train and took a picture of his shoulder. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Reviews are kind of all over the place, from middling to good. I like the new Tomb Raider games. I'm playing through Rise of the Tomb Raider again myself in anticipation of this. I don't expect anything all that great from Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I do expect a fun game.
The only issues I have is that we had the Tomb Raider reboot, which did it come out in 2014?
Let me look this up. I think it is actually old. I think 2014 sounds about right.
Maybe there has been a decent amount of time because they're not yearly installments.
No, they're like bi-yearly.
It feels like it's every 2 years, and we went for a long time not having any good Tomb Raider games, and then they're kind of coming out quickly, which can happen and can lead to good games, but I'm just worried because...
Okay, so Tomb Raider, the reboot, came out in 2013. Rise of the Tomb Raider came out 2015. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider is 2018, a couple weeks from now. Or a couple days from now, rather.
3 years of working on it, so that's actually not that bad.
No. And I like them. They're good.
The new Tomb Raider felt like it was yesterday to me. Like, just came out, and then the second one just came out, and the third one's here.
I think a lot of that is because there was some exclusivity shenaniganery.
Shenaniganery.
Yeah, because, Rise of the Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive in 2015, but didn't come out until PlayStation 4 PC until 2016.
Okay.
They had that 1 year...
I didn't think about it until
thing on there. I think it was 1 year.
Anyway, we got a new
So that could be
game.
why it feels sooner to you than it should.
Also coming out this week, we have Super Street the Game for PS4 and Xbox One. I think it's also hitting Steam. This is really weird to me. It's the official arcade racing game for Super Street, which is a automotive tuning apparel line and just tuning website.
What
It looks like Auto Mechanic Simulator mixed with a racing game.
the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about a game that's coming out this week where you start with a shitty car and you put a bunch of parts on it to make it look kind of nice, and then you race it. And most of the trailer is just someone customizing a car, and then there's pictures of what looks to be a racing game, but I have no idea if there's actually a racing game in here or if it's any good. This looks weird, and maybe if you're super into the tuner culture, look at it, but I'm not gonna.
I never understood the appeal of buying a fucking Civic and then putting 80 grand worth of parts into it when you could just buy a car worth 80 grand and outperform it.
Because
I never understood it.
Because sometimes the 80 grand Civic wins, and when it does, that's funny.
Dude, Vince Nitro says spinning ribs at least 4,600 horsepower. Fact.
That sounds right. But if you really want power gains, you're going to need yourself one of them Type R stickers.
No, what you really need is if you want your car to go really fast, put a giant fucking air drag spoiler on the back.
Oh, especially if it's front-wheel drive, because things that a front-wheel drive needs more than anything else is rear downforce. You can quote me on that. Cars! Also coming out this week, we have Time Carnage for Xbox One and Switch. This is a frantic VR survival wave shooter with a time reload system, travel through time, and wreak havoc fighting dinosaurs, monsters, robots, zombies. This is yet another stand there and don't die VR game. I don't know why it's on Xbox One and Switch when the whole appeal of this game is that it's in VR. Because, like I said, you stand in one place and shoot.
It's the same reason why you would put like
it's a light gun game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same reason why you put Time Crisis on a console, even though they only sold like a small handful of Justifier.
But the Xbox One and Switch don't have light guns, so why?
That's what I'm getting at. They still put Time Crisis on consoles now. That yes, they made light guns for it, but most people didn't buy a light gun to play Time Crisis.
I did.
Well, you did. Congratulations. But I think they actually made more copies of that game than the Justifier controller. They put it on there because people like to move the cursor around sometimes.
Okay. I think that these style of games are why VR isn't going anywhere, because a lot of VR games involve standing around and not actually playing a video game, but just defending yourself from waves. And I don't think that is the future of gaming, because that's how gaming started in arcades, standing there and shooting at things, walking at you.
You still see some good VR games out there. Apparently that Zero Wall Fire Hour or 0 Hour Firewall or whatever that tactical...
Fire Zero Wall Hour.
Yeah, whatever that tactical shooter is with PlayStation VR, apparently that's really goddamn good.
Yeah, I was actually looking at that game at PAX and it looked rad. But the line was 2 hours, so I said
fuck that.
Also coming out this week, we have V-Rally 4 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This I want to talk about because it's the return of an off-road racing game that has kind of a funny history because it started so damn long ago. V-Rally originally came out for PS1 back in the day, and it was a big deal because it was the first rally game to actually have split-screen multiplayer, not time attack. And the second and third games were on Dreamcast and PS2. So we're looking at a sequel to a PS2 game that's like a niche racing game. It's just kind of ridiculous that this game even exists. But there you go. V-Rally 4 for current gen and PC. Rallycross and drifts and buggies and hill climbs, and there you go. Also, 1 and 2, originally when released in the US, were Need for Speed games because EA held the publishing rights.
Okay, I did not know that. Interesting.
Look at that. Here's a real V-Rally game for you. And finally, the last thing I'm going to bother you guys with is Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Man, we've talked about this game a whole bunch of times. Guess
I love
what?
it. I love Wasteland.
It's on Switch.
Yeah, that's the reason why
I didn't even know this was coming to Switch, but it's pretty hype. This is the producer of the original Fallout that makes made Wasteland 2. If you remember, this was kickstarted, right? I'm pretty sure you backed it, didn't you?
I didn't back it, but I did. I love Wasteland 2 because I am old enough to remember the first Wasteland. And to give you an idea of how old the fucking first Wasteland is, it came out before the original Fallout.
Yeah, dude.
Came out like in 89 or something like that, maybe 91.
With over 80 hours of gameplay, deck out your Ranger Squad with devastating weaponry, test the limits of your strategy skills, and bring justice to the wasteland. The choice is yours, but so are the consequences. I actually have put this game off for a long time, and it sounds great on Switch. I'm just looking forward to seeing how it plays and how it runs. But, you know, it's that isometric original Fallout style game that I can probably play with the touchscreen. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, so think, think your classic RPGs and how they kind of had a resurgence lately. So think things like Pillars of Eternity or what's the one you love? Divinity Original Sin 2.
Let's talk about the fact that that enhanced edition just came out last week, and if you own the old one, you have enhanced edition right now. And if for some reason you haven't played any Divinities, damn it, buy those games on consoles. They're so good.
So think that style of gameplay that used to be in Baldur's Gate and Fallout 1 and 2. But combine a XCOM-like cover system to it where you have like full cover, half cover, and action points. So your character might have like 9 action points. And to fire a pistol costs 3 action points. To fire a machine gun might cost 5. And you have though many points a turn to do your move. And then you go back and forth. So it's a strategy game with those old classic RPG elements thrown in. Set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It is a direct continuation of the original Wasteland, by the way, if you're old enough to remember Wasteland 1. And if it wasn't for Wasteland 1, you would not have Fallout. Just keep that in mind.
If you didn't have Fallout, you wouldn't have Fallout 3. And if you didn't have Fallout 3, you wouldn't have Fallout New Vegas.
Arguably the best Fallout.
There you go.
David.
Well, wait, maybe 76 is the future.
So the thing about 76 is I want to play it. I'm reserving judgment until I play it, but I'm not hyped up for it.
I'm just interested.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I want to see it.
Really curious.
Yeah, I want to see it working in the wild. And with that, I think that wraps up new releases, which means that wraps up the show.
We're all done, folks.
This has been GamePoints episode 143. Thank you for watching. We do stream live every Monday here at twitch.tv/GamePoints if you want to join in the conversation. Always appreciate an active chat. Dr. Hugo, Vince Nitro, Salty Frank, Phoenix 100K, Coco for Tacos if you're still around. Always appreciate you guys coming by. If you can't watch us live, however, though, feel free to tune into our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/c/GamePointsPC. And I try to post every old episode up there, as well as a couple reviews and random rants of whatever happens to be stuck up my crawl that day. You can follow the show at GamePoints PC on Twitter. You can follow myself, Steven Brown, at CapitalistPig21. And you can follow David Smith over there at Pashaf_Satori if he ever tweets. And without further ado, that has been GamePoints 143. And until next Monday, we're out of here.